Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining the Fifth Dimension Generation group. I hope that you've enjoyed your free gifts already and some of the posts that have been brought through to elevate you, motivate you, build your confidence in your path of awakening. Now, I know that some of the people that have joined have been attracted, obviously, because of the divine motherhood codes and reaching out to conscious parents that don't necessarily follow the ascension path. And then some of you very high vibe, understanding we're vibration and we're walking this divine plan path, especially currently right now. So this video is to say to you, it's not about knowing, you don't have to know about ascension to ascend. If you're being a good person, wanting the best for other people, doing your best to improve yourself, doing your best to see through old scripts that you tell yourself and actually want to work on yourself, upgrade your beliefs, and obviously impact your children positively, knowing that they're the generations that are going to seed the next generations, meaning that you do care about Earth, meaning that you make conscious decisions in your purchases, who you align with, your branding. And obviously, if you start taking care of your body as like this temple and start relating to the animals have a soul, maybe, and that maybe it's not nice to kill other things if we ourselves don't want to be killed. And it's all these ideas that people live in their everyday life that aren't necessarily said, oh, this is an ascension teaching. Because to lay it out like this, ascension is the evolution of consciousness. So you're already that, aren't you? Whether you chose to do some exercise or read a different style of book, that is consciousness expanding and exploring itself. That is consciousness choosing to experience something new. So you're always ascending, and ascending is that opening up, that raising, that heightening. But the blessing that realizing that we are ascending and then following methodology and teachers that are here for that is that you actually are choosing to impact consciousness positively faster, meaning you receive more consciousness faster, e.g. you live in an abundant, peaceful, co-created, unified, energy vibrational world. You see light, you see codes, you see spirits, you see higher dimensional beings. You are living the experience of being consciousness. And what is consciousness? Light, atoms, vibration. What's your body made up? Skin, organs, what's under there? Molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, what's inside the cell, energy and space. Space and energy, what's inside the nuclei, energy, which is light. What's consciousness is light. So when you actually choose to follow the path of ascension, you're raising your awareness of what you are already doing, but then you actually implement the methods to do that. So you would accept activations from higher dimensional beings who are already and have already activated their consciousness to be full of only love. You would receive a path that moves your vibration around and that you impact, and you realize that whatever you say to yourself, for example, is a choice that would impact your cells. So you start walking this conscious path of accelerating your actual experience. You start feeling and oozing bliss. You start actually realizing that what you do counts and matters. And if you say, oh, I'm going to do this, I want this, it comes to you the next day, the next hour. You realize that all this idea of quantum manifesting is real. But what you're really here to do in Ascension is to be able to raise your cellular light vibration to such a beautiful state of being able to give and receive, because you realize that you're all one. You realize that you don't want to hurt another if you don't want to be hurt. Why would that make any sense? Oh, I don't want to be hurt, but I'm going to hurt other people. How's that? How's that? Yeah. So once you've opened yourself up to this awareness of the oneness, then you start being able to live your life in that way always. You start realizing that there are limitless possibilities. You start realizing that there's no actual rules. Like, who even told you that unicorns don't exist? Who told you that? Who told you that there aren't giants? Just because you can see it. But if your cells are only vibrating at a low vibration, they can't see it. They can only see certain forms of light. Like a dog can hear other things. Ow, different sense. So when you activate your cells, you can see different things. You can travel into the galaxy. Because what you actually do in Ascension is you start embodying your higher self. So you have all these layers of the bodies, and your higher self, you have there's source energy, which is the all complete, and then source copy pastes itself to create souls. And then your soul has many different experiences, but you're one of them. And your soul transmits yourself down through a column of ascension to earth. And your higher self is within this column of ascension. Your higher self is channeling from source into your body. And what ascension is for embodying your higher self, so that your soul can really experience have a physical experience where you realize you've merged with your higher self and your soul. So your soul gets to see through and experience a physical reality. So where we've been in for the past 2,000 years is 3D, third density, which is about fear, separation, and shame. You're you and I'm me, and what you do doesn't affect me. Well, when you're walking into the 4D, which is obviously now, what you do does affect me. And guess what the whole COVID thing is? It's about breath. Yeah, it's about showing you that everything's connected. Like, it's literally handing it on a plate for everyone to wake up and go, oh, the water source affects everyone. Oh, the air affects everyone. Oh, what I do does matter. Oh, we're all one. And you start playing this beautiful weaving game where you can see, because you've activated a higher sense of perspective, to say what I do does matter. So of course, when you wake up, you're not going to go, what I do matters, so I'm going to treat the world horribly. You're like, oh my gosh, if I had a gravestone that said she made the world a better place, it just, guess what that does to your vibration? Whoa! So then you understand what your purpose is, and your purpose here is to say, I'm here to help other people. Then your vibration rises, yeah? But then you get to help other people so your vibration rises. And then you're activating your ascension even further. Then you get to be in contact with more beings because you're trying to help more people. So more beings are attracted to you because you've got higher vibration. And they're attracted to you because they want to help beings, because this whole cosmos is based on that we're all one. So if you're saying I want to help more people awaken, be better, have a great life, other beings want to help you do that, because then they get to help more beings because they're on exactly the same path, but just from a higher perspective. So how do we implement this? We want ourselves to be our number one priority. You want your vibration to be your number one currency, because it is. So if you're still trapped in that distortion of fear, the reason that fear is being offered to the mass is to offer them an opportunity to say, I have a choice if I want to feel fear. And everyone is free to choose what they want. No one is forcing you to watch the news. It's not a rule. It's not a law. No one's actually forcing you. So first of all, you would cut out any other stories other than aligning to high vibration people that are walking this path. You'd really cut them out because it's not your reality. So imagine that you then, let's just say, imagine that you right now could see a fairy. Your whole mind would fall in and go, oh my God, I saw a fairy, they're real. Oh my God. And say you just saw a giant. You wouldn't be watching the news still about COVID, would you? You'd be busy being like, there's dragons flying around the sky. You wouldn't watch the news. Yeah. So it's almost like you live first in the reality where you imagine what you imagine a limitless imaginative reality, because in that limitless imaginative reality, you wouldn't be watching the news, choosing to watch the news, would you? You wouldn't be choosing to look at your child and go, I wish we were just different. I wish that we got along better. I wish I was a better mother. I wish I'd done everything differently. You wouldn't be saying, oh, I'm struggling with finding money. Oh, I just can't cope. Oh, I'm in debt. I'm low. I don't know what to do with my life. You wouldn't be saying that. You would go, what the? Whoa. Say there was just like, then what's that like in that Hook film when if he imagines Peter Pan has all the food on the table, so like one person in 3D is looking at like him going, I don't understand what you're talking about, and then all the lost boys, which is us, yeah, the light leaders, we're going, well, just imagine there's loads of food and there will be, but you've got to imagine it first, otherwise you don't get to have it, because what is life other than what you imagine it is? So you have to start living an authentic life where you say, all my needs are met. I'm safe, abundant, free, creative. I'm free to travel this universe. Because then that makes you be that person. You don't get something without you being it first. You can't say, I want freedom, but not feel free. It's all about that. And then you realize the distortion of the control. They're telling you what you don't have so that you feel you don't have it, so that you can't manifest it. But it's this trick to be like, well, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm actually going to imagine that I do have what I want, because then it manifests. But also the key of that is that you get to experience what you want in the now by saying you have it. So it's like this idea of God's source being like, well, it's a game. It's just a really fun game of imagining, imaginary play. And until you walk that path of imagining, you can't say it doesn't work and I don't know how, it doesn't work and I can't do it. You have to do it. You can't go, oh, I don't believe in that. It's like, well, don't then. But a belief is something that you make up. A belief isn't a thing. There's no such thing as a belief. You make up your beliefs. So if you're still saying, I can't do it, it's like, well, you're making that belief up. Until you try and do it, until you give yourself the opposite version of anything you're saying, you can't say you have an opinion on it. You can't say this is who you are. You have to actually do two sides of it and say, I felt fear, I felt lack, I felt separation. I felt like I had no hope in the world. I felt like I've had no money. I felt like I couldn't communicate with my children. And now I'm going to play the role and I'm going to tell myself I am in abundance. I communicate with my children just fine. They're free beings. They're so loved. I'm the perfect mother. I'm a part of this world. Everything I do touches, everything I touch turns to gold. I'm safe, abundant. I've got a huge imagination. I'm so creative. And then you come into it and you say, okay, which one felt better? Was I better? Which one was a better person? Which one did I learn? Which one made my day better? Which one helped my family life? Which one brought me a manifestation? Because I'm telling you, you go with this one, miracles happen immediately. One, because you realize you've got a choice of how you feel and you're like, whoa, I just stepped out of the entire matrix. I have a choice. The whole of the matrix of 3D was telling you didn't have a choice. That was it. It was just an experience for you, a source God, to say, what would it feel like to believe I didn't have a choice? What would it feel like? That was it. It was never actually that you didn't have a choice. You're always your higher self. You're always your soul in every moment. But it's being able to actually see that perspective. And in Ascension, you raise your expectations through removing the limitations. Through saying, what if I believed I could? Who told me that I couldn't? Where's that come from? Could I say the opposite right now and experience something different? And if you do that only once, then the whole neural pathway, the whole vibration of your body, all the dormant cells, all your dormant DNA, divine DNA, activate to give you the experience of what you're saying, because whatever you're saying is what you're going to get. And you have to give yourself this opportunity to say, I have something that you don't in theory have, to allow what you don't have to actually come to you. Because say that everything in this universe is alive, it's going to hear what you're saying. You're going to go, I don't have any money. So the money goes, they don't want me. They keep saying they don't have me. They don't want me. Like everything will give you whatever you want. Like this whole cosmos this whole universe is built on unconditional love. So let's imagine that your amazing divine source God parent is saying to you, I'll give you whatever you want. Whatever you focus on, I'll give you. And I'll give it to you immediately. Okay? In the only moment there ever was of now, I will give you everything you want. Whatever you say, however you feel, whatever you're saying you have, yeah, I'll give it to you. If you're going, I don't have money. It's going, don't have money. don't have lots of money. She really wants to focus on not having money. She just really wants to experience lack. It's fascinating. I'm going to give it to you, my child. Child, have it. Have it, have it, have it, have it, have it. Let it ooze out of your cells. Lack. Have nothing. That's what you want. But if you go, I have all my needs met, and then what happens? Maybe you go, my need is to breathe. And your higher self is allowed in a higher perspective of reality, of a truer place you want to live at. Yeah. Your higher self then comes in those cells and goes, and inspires you to go, oh, my real need is to breathe. If I had any need to be, it's been met. What a blessing. I just had that idea. You know? Oh, if I have all my needs met, is my need to actually see my children. I'm saying I don't have money for buy my kids a toy. What if my need was to have my eyes? If my need's been met by just having these hands to hold them, could I give them something without money right now? Is that what they really need? Could I love them with these hands and these eyes and this beautiful breath and these words? Maybe all my needs have been met. Maybe I could be more graceful, more gracious, more humble in this moment, because that's when the higher self is coming in and you're having these epiphanies through reality. But then guess what? The next day happens. Some money does come because you've said thank you. I realize what my true needs are. And what are your true needs? Your true needs are to be in the now, happy with what you have, amazed at what you have. Quite frankly, unbelievable, uncomprehensible how you have whatever you have. Not be wanting more. Oh, I don't have. It's like you're missing what you do have. But then when you just bring it down, your higher self's allowed to come in because you're allowing them to come in. And then you're seeing through the eyes of a higher self. You're seeing through the eyes of a higher body, a higher being, a higher power. And then you can see other realms of reality opening up to you. So I really hope that that's helped for people that are on the path, aren't aware that they're on the path, but that now they are on the path. And I'm obviously here to guide this. I understand the divine plan. I channel from source directly. It's a completely incredible experience. I was never believed in God. It wasn't a thing. It's nothing to do with religion. You've got to say, get out of the way of that and be like, who even told you what the word religion means? You're channeling consciousness. Okay, you're channeling light. You're channeling a higher perspective. So if this has been helpful to you, then don't put up your old walls of judgment and say, I don't believe what she's saying. If someone is saying that they're experiencing a higher life than you currently have, and it's through saying opposite opinions and activating a choice point that they currently didn't feel they had, it doesn't matter that they're saying they're channeling from source. It matters that they're saying things that you can do right now. And if you don't do them, then you have no opinion on saying if it didn't work or doesn't work. Do them. Just do the things that you're comfortable with. Feel the change. And then if that works, it's like, oh, well, if that choice point and that non-judgment and that new version of me done what someone said and it worked out, maybe her saying she's channeling from source directly and that source God means consciousness could equally be true. Would that be better than going, don't really believe in any of that? And I feel like shit, and I don't get along with my kids, and I don't have any money, and I'm scared, and the government completely control me, and I'm enslaved, and my planet's dying. Whereas 4D, 5D is, that was all an illusion and all a distortion, because the Earth is basically turning into her own sun. Yay! And we're the Earthlings upon her, and we are our own sons, or our own cells of light that are tuning into how she is, what she is doing. So you got to become an activated earthling. That's why caring about helping other people, because the more people that awaken, the more people that are high vibe, good. There's no like, oh, I win, you lose, or I just want to win. There's no ego. So I study Vipassana, I study all the ancient texts, okay, that got me here, but now I'm a channeler of high dimensional beings. I understand. I'm a starseed. I came here from another galaxy, from another star system, as well as many other things, but to come here and help the human enslaved mind approach this subject wherever they're at from, okay? So if you're right at the beginning, there's an amazing program that I offer that will just allow no talk of ascension, but just these main ideas of choice and co-creation and chakras and that kind of thing, of how to use your word. I have a great low price program for that, so feel free to go and access that. If you're pumping this vibe and you want to be like, I want my power of choice, I want to know how to say I am happy now, I want to say even from 1 second to next where I go I don't have, I want to say I do have. If you're at that stage of it where you're activating that you want to be in the now, because you're flirting around the idea of, yeah, but how do I say I have it? How do I say I have money when I don't have money? If you're in that sludge, if you're there, yeah, it's your time to get out of that, because you're not going to get anything you want until you're able to move into that awareness, yeah? And my program for that is genius. You'll be like, I'm there now, I understand, I'm only in the now, I have it. So there's a class for that, and I'll put the link for that. And then for people that are a bit further on, or if you're just really inspired and you just get this, because the point of this is that you will just get it because you're already source God, having an experience of physicality. You're not learning anything from me that you don't already know. You're remembering what you are. That's the difference. 3D enslavement government process, you don't know anything and you're here to be taught what to know and what to do. 4D ascension is like, no, we were programmed to not remember what we were, okay? So if you really understand, if you really like feel this and you just like feel the vibe and you're like, I get it, I'm on board, yeah, then I have a more like detailed process with you, okay, that is about you wanting to make that impact, being like, of course I want to make the world a better place, of course my tombstone's going to read they made the world a better place, you know, I'm going to do whatever I can. I think that sounds rock and roll, yeah, then obviously also contact me. But what I'm going to be designing, which is why I wanted to create this group and to reach out to parents especially, is because it's about the children. Yeah, if you've been programmed to see through the eyes of fear, because think about 3D as this, it was a space in time space reality to learn through being separate to one another. It was great. I had a great time, learned a lot, yeah, done. And now you get to choose, have you learned enough from it? You might still want to read the news, so then you haven't learned enough. You want to stay, you want to feel enslaved for a bit longer, you want to feel scared for a bit longer, you want your children to be enslaved because you think that they'll learn, like you know. But there's been this conditioning through dark energy that's actually not made it as fun as it could. Like feeling separate is fun because you get to go after your own dreams, and when you step into this one, into like 4D, there's this like whole process of purging that your dreams are for everyone. Like, I don't want my daughter to have a free life but your child not to. But in 3D it'll be like, well, I definitely need, I'm not meaning me, but like the control has been like, well, I want her to go to kung fu lessons, so if there's only one space, that's their problem if someone else can't go. Yeah, where 4D's like, I want all children to learn kung fu, so let's get a bigger room. Yeah, it's like no one loses. So 3D is really fun because you get to think that you're the victim and you're like, poor me, and it feels really juicy. Like you have such low energy, it's like, yeah. But what's happened is that dark forces are feeding off of you doing that. And when you step into this ascension process and you neutralize to be able to see clearer, they can't do it anymore, so they don't come near you, and you basically just shift into another dimension. where you can just see that happening and you're not in it anymore. Okay, so there's something really joyful to celebrate about 3D, and we love it and we always will. But if you're ready to say goodbye to it, then please step over the line and make that choice. And the program that I'm designing is for parents, because it's about the next generation. They are going to be free. They're going to know they're multidimensional. They're going to be in contact with their source God creator, and we're going to allow them to express themselves, and we're going to learn from them, because they're the closest thing to being unprogrammed. They're not programmed. Okay, so the more you can let them be themselves, the more that you can take them out of the system, the more you can work on yourself, the more you can receive from people that can see you for what you are. You're a soul within a body, okay, and you want to see through those eyes. The sooner they're going to be free, and the sooner we can actually learn from them, because they came here for their own mission. Okay, so I hope you've really enjoyed this video, and I'll leave the links below for any of the programs that you wish to access. But let me know where you're at. I want to know your journey. Like, guess what, we're in this together. We're in this together. It's not like, oh, I know about Ascension and I'm going to teach you. It's like, can you tell me how your Ascension's going? Even if you didn't even know the word Ascension, you're like, well, actually, I've really been working on myself, and I do care about animals more this year. Oh, I've been ascending. Yeah, good people are ascending. It's just that when you move over into that 4D, you will then seek out to be taught what it is. So you're in the perfect place. You've been called in to be attracted because you're already there. You're not going back. You're not going to be enslaved. You're out. Okay, you're free. But now you want to know what's happening. Now you want to cross the T's and dot the I's. Now you want to walk into that service of helping other people, of knowing exactly what's going on, of understanding, of talking to your soul, of being like, oh my God, who even told me I don't have a soul? Oh, them, same people that are telling me I shouldn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So you're all ascending, seeing as you've come to this page. You're all ascending, okay? But it's now time to activate yourselves into deeper levels, okay? Okay, so let me know where you think you're at on your path, okay? And then let's navigate to help you get to where you next want to be, okay? I love you so much. You're me. Thank you so much. And I really hope that's helped. All right. Bye.